and from a sunny Cleethorpes, as you can probably see, as the sun is blasting through my office window. I'm here to preview the Grimsby Town away trip, a very difficult trip to Steve Evans' Bristol Rovers. Now, there has not been any pre-match dropped as of yet. There will be a pre-match drop, we don't know. So what we'll do is, as I don't know about the team news yet, I would imagine a lot came out okay from the draw with Walsall on Wednesday night. Obviously the lads will be travelling down today for this one, so hopefully no real major injuries. We hope. As I said, we're going into a very, very tough period of fixtures, and like I said, we're right at the very start of this period. It's the kind of period that if you can come out with a decent points total, then leave yourself going into the running with a fairly decent chance. But obviously, Steve Evans now in charge of Bristol Rovers. They had improved a little bit under Steve, but they seem to have took a couple of steps backwards again, especially in the last few games. So, and obviously still having former manager Camille Conte in their ranks. It's a team that at the start of the season, even I had been more promotion contenders more than where they are, and you have to say relegation candidates, because that's what Bristol Rovers are right now, and you can't really deny that. I think hopefully we can go there on Saturday with a level of confidence that a team just outside the playoffs would bring. I saw a stat just before I did this preview about Cameron Janet played nearly every minute, every league game for Town so far this season. He is a machine. And he's been one of our most consistent performers as well. So, Bristol Rovers they've got some threats. They've got some threats without a shadow of a doubt. So we're going to have to be aware of them. Obviously, former Luton captain Tom Lockyer is at Bristol Rovers. Good to see Tom back playing regularly and is in good health. But as for us, I think there will be a few changes for the weekend. I think obviously because of the quick rotation, and then obviously we've got a 3-4 week after this game. I think I would go with the two up top. I think if Cookie is going to want to keep his place due to his 2 goals against Walsall, but I'd probably play James KB up with him, maybe in that winger slash striker role, which him and Cookie do link up quite well. Obviously, I would say, I think watching Sellers Fleming in the first half, I don't think I'd start him here, but I think he'd definitely be a good sub to bring on. So I would go Chaz for that. start Sweeney at the back as well. If you can't obviously drop Harvey Rogers, he's been immense himself. Cam McJanet, again, I'm sure will start. Midfield, do you play the same midfield as we went against Walsall? Very hard to say after his performance. To say drop Jamie Walker, I think he's starting to find a rhythm. Or would you go unchanged? I'd probably bring KBU in definitely, and you know what? I probably would keep the midfield three the same, but I feel like he may bring Corey in just for a different dynamic in the middle. But you know, we can't start as poor as we did Wednesday against anybody. You can't start as poor as that. But if we play like we did in the second half, you know, it could be a comfortable afternoon. If we play the way we started, it could be a very difficult afternoon. I mean, Bristol Rovers have sprung the odd surprising result recently, and I'll go about that when we talk about their recent form. If we look at the stats heading in to this game, Bristol Rovers obviously lie third bottom with 27 points. The Mariners lie 10th with 49 points. And the league position obviously is 10th and 22nd. Goals scored, 29 goals scored for Bristol Rovers, 44 league goals for the Mariners. So we're definitely not short of goals, but if we were to look at the overall stats as in shots and goals conceded and shots on and off target, the Mariners have conceded 34 goals this season. Bristol Rovers have leaked goals, really. 55 goals they've conceded this season. 241 shots for Bristol Rovers. Over 317 for the Mariners. On target, only 100 of those have been on target. For Bristol Rovers, 141 have been off target. For us, still more off target than on. 146 of those shots have been on target. 171 have been off target. If you look at the block shots, it's absolutely even. Both clubs have had 125 block shots throughout the season so far. If you look at the pass accuracy, 67.02% for Bristol Rovers and 72% pretty much for Grimsby Town. So again, good with the passing accuracy. Obviously, like building up from the back. Steve Evans again is more of a direct coach. Obviously, we've played his teams when he's been at Rotherham, when he's been at Mansfield, when he's been at obviously Crawley, and you know, a very successful manager, Steve Evans. Obviously, his time at Boston is a bit tainted, but that happened what happened. But if you look at the points gained from losing positions, the Mariners have won 8 points from losing positions. Bristol Rovers have only picked up 4. I think the alarming thing for us so far is points dropped from a winning position. For the Mariners, we've dropped 14 points from a winning position, and I suppose in a way it was half and half in midweek, because in one way we picked a point up from a losing position, because we conceded first, but in the end, it would probably go down as a dropping points from a losing position. We kind of did both on Wednesday. We gained a point, but lost a point at the same time. 14 points drop from winning position, so that is a little bit concerning for Grimsby, but we move on. If we look at the recent form of the two sides, Grimsby Town are in the league undefeated in the last 10 games. Obviously only one win though in our last 5. That includes obviously the midweek defeat. It felt like a defeat in the end. Midweek draw at home to Walsall. Obviously the 1-0 defeat in the FA Cup against Wolves. Very valiant though. A 1-0 win against Accrington. A 0-0 draw at Newport and a 2-2 draw against MK Dons. So only one win in our last 5 games, in a sense. Whereas if you look at Bristol Rovers, like I said, as much as they have improved a little bit under Steve Evans, league position would say not so much. But if you look at the last 5 games before last time out, the result last time out, which was Tuesday, they had beaten Newport 3-0. They had beaten the Saddlers 2-0. So they'd gone 2 games without conceding against, obviously, lowly Newport, who have made a little bit of an improvement. And obviously a poor Saddlers team on the night. And through playing them, I can see why. But in the last 3 games, it's sort of reverted to type for Bristol Rovers, losing 3-2 at home to Chesterfield, a 3-1 win for Cambridge at home to Rovers, and a 2-0 defeat away at Oldham, who are the draw specialists in League 2. So again, as much as maybe the results have turned around a little bit when Steve came in, it's not really been that manager bounce that they wanted after replacing Darryl Clark. So it's going to be interesting as to which way people see this going. At the moment, the previous meetings probably don't mean too much, but we've played 14 times recently, and Bristol Rovers have a majority of the wins, 8 wins to Grimsby's 3, and 3 draws. So this is a game where we don't have the best of records against Bristol Rovers, and obviously Mariners fans always remember the playoff final defeat that we had at Wembley against them in 2015, and obviously all people can remember that. If we look at the last 3 results, we've only picked up 1 point in those last 3, going back to February of 2015, ironically. A 1-0 win on a 1-0 defeat on Valentine's Day 2015 against the Rovers at Blundell Park, a 1-1 draw in May of 2015. That was, of course, the playoff final, which we're talking about. The last time we played them in the league was this past August, and we lost 1-0 at Blundell Park. I don't think we can take too much from that, but hopefully we can sort of eradicate and start getting the form back on the Mariners' track, and hopefully, if we can get the win, it'll probably make that draw against Walsall feel a little bit more hopeful, I would say, and can take it as a positive point rather than a negative point. If we look at the a few match facts, all the stats and that are coming from the BBC Sport website, so that's where I'm getting my information from. A few stats, a few facts, not stats, but one that BBC have got out. Bristol Rovers have kept a clean sheet in 5 of their last 7 meetings against Grimsby Town this century. Just 2 fewer than they did across the first 30 games against the Mariners in the Football League, when it's 7. So yes, they don't concede a great deal against us really. Following their 1-0 win in the reverse victory in August, Rovers will be looking to complete just a second league double over Grimsby after the 58-59 season. And obviously we don't want the double done on us at all. I think we've got the quality in the side to cope with that, even more so now than maybe we did back in August. We'll have to wait and see. If we look at, say, Bristol Rovers have won 2 of their last 3 home league games in League 2, losing 1, scoring 2+ goals in each of the 3 matches. They last scored multiple goals in more home league games in a row in September of 2017, so it's been a while for them. For us here, Grimsby Town have kept a clean sheet in each of their last 4 away league games in League 2 and are looking to equal that record, such streak in the Football League. 5 games between September and November of 2016. Obviously that was when we first got back up under Paul Hurst, but we haven't done it since. So, you know, you would say this could be a cagey game, all stats considered. It's going to be a tricky trip. Anywhere away is difficult. And obviously, our next 2 games will be away from Blundell Park, so hopefully we can try and get a bit of solace from playing at home, especially give the pitch time to settle, shall we say. Obviously, a bit of rain has been done today as I record this. There's been a little bit of rain, but it didn't last long. So what do I think? I think you've got to probably look at maybe the 2 up top and Cook and Cabiot. Like I've said, Jackson Smith will be in goal, I'm sure. Janet will start and keep that one going. What do I think scoreline wise? It's going to be one of these games that Bristol Rovers, especially against Grimsby, like to keep it tight. I think the first goal in this game is going to be crucial, more so than in most games. And I say that due to how close our games with Bristol Rovers normally are. It's tricky because, like I said, that recently they have beaten Walsall there, who, like I said, we just drew with in midweek. So you can't take these lightly, even though they're down 3rd bottom. You know, you can't take anybody lightly, really, as we showed when we drew with Newport. Scoreline wise, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. I think we need a result just to bay any sort of frustrations off the midweek draw. Goal scorers Gail Green and James Cabiot. I think we'll get the 2 goals. Although I'd love Andy Cook to start going on a streak of goals, and I would take that. I said now he's scored. I think he will hit double figures now between now and the end of the season. But I think Kieran Green and James Cabia, but I think one guy, if I was to pick another guy out, I'd probably go for Cam to get a goal. Why not? But no, I'm going. I'm officially going for Cabia and Green. If you are going to Bristol Rovers on Saturday, safe journey down. That is a long trip to make for Saturday afternoon, but it's better than doing it on a Tuesday night, I guess. But safe journey to any Mariner that heads down there. It should be hopefully a successful long trip. And like I said, we've got 2 trips coming up in the next couple of games, and it's going to be a difficult one. But leave me your thoughts down below on this. Leave me your score predictions as well, and who you think will be the goal scorers on that day. Can we break this sort of hoodoo against Bristol Rovers? Because like I said, we don't have a great record against them. Can we break that today? But we do seem to have a decent record against Steve Evans, so that could go in our favour. And I wonder if we'll get Steve sent off. He likes getting sent off against Grimsby, doesn't he? Sent to the stands. I wonder if that might happen. But leave me your thoughts down below and your score predictions. Do like, share, comment, and subscribe. And unfortunately, I will not be making the trip to Bristol, but I will be at the next away game, which we'll talk about in the preview for that one. But do leave your thoughts down below and all sorts of stuff. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you for a review of the game, of course, and my thoughts on where the Mariners have been able to pick up 3 points. Until then, leave your comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, up the Mariners, and let's have a bounce back, shall we, lads? Let's do it. I'll see you soon. Ta-da.